Hello. Welcome back once again. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day, as are we. Of course, yet another day to find out who is gonna qualify for that World Esports Championship that we're gonna have a little bit later on in the year on ESC. So, thank you so much to everyone that is tuning in, and I hope that you are ready to see these international squads that are gonna be duking it out. Lena, how are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty happy, excited as usual, and especially because today we will have two matches, right? So we have, a lot of CS. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one, starting today in a specific, and the match between Costa Rica against Honduras, which means that, I mean, just so people know, they are not allowed to qualify anymore because they just lost three of their matches already. So right now it's just like a match to see, well, I mean, who will just come on top of, like each one.
Yeah, like this situation, like it's all about the pride at this point. Unfortunately, for both of these squads, qualification, well, it's out of reach as at this point, as you were mentioning. So Costa Rica and Honduras perhaps gonna be a little bit more chill today, are gonna have some fun. I wonder if we're gonna see a little bit of wacky stuff, or it's gonna be like down to brass tacks, like no funny business around here. We're still trying to prove that we deserve the qualifier spot. But our next match of the day is still gonna be very interesting. So I hope that you guys get to stick around for that, because that one could spice things up here for this qualifying stages. However, we may be getting a little too ahead of ourselves. Right now, it's all about Costa Rica versus Honduras. Let's not forget, it's a best of one format, meaning we're only gonna see one map.
And also, I don't know. I'm just wondering which map it will be, because yesterday was an Ancient, and as I say, it's a little bit weird to play Ancient in a best of one. So right now, in this particular day and match that we are just going to witness, I'm not sure like which map could be. I mean, I'm expecting maybe something more, chill, as you said before. Like these teams are just playing a little bit more relaxed. I mean, of course, it's sad that they cannot qualify anymore, but at this point, I mean, they can just have fun. So that's why I'm expecting maybe a Mirage, an Inferno, like some, more like a typical map. I don't know, but we will see just in a little bit which map it will be, right? But so far, well, I'm just excited to see specifically like the players of each country, because I don't remember them in a specific, but I'm pretty sure that Costa Rica at least has like one or two players that they are like more with the more experience, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're gonna have a sub for this one, from what I'm gathering right here later. Induni, Matatontos, I love that name, by the way, 1JBC, and Cross are gonna be representing Costa Rica, but we'll get to it a little bit later on, and maybe we can dig up some stats for you guys. Maybe, I mean, yet again, I really appreciate the effort that IESF and this organization such as this make to bring a little bit of spotlight to scenes such as the ones in Latin America. So thank you so much, muchísimas gracias to everybody that is tuning in and that makes this one happen. After all, it is for your enjoyment. So let's hope that we get to see this best of one as soon as possible, because we are reeling in with excitement, even if it's not really gonna be a super try-hardy match. Maybe I still hope that we do get to see, at least a little bit of trying,
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams are good, in my opinion. If I just have to put like my cards on the table, I will go straight away for Costa Rica, and especially because I know that last year they were playing like really well. They managed to take like some rounds from Guatemala, which was like the strongest team. So I mean, they still are, but at this point, I just feel like they have more chances to win this particular match. I mean, I don't know. Honduras could just surprise us, of course, and that's something that we expect. As you say, like we want to see like a close match, and especially when you are, just playing more about the pride,
And yeah, and talking about pride, let's see which ones of these guys are a bit more prideful because we're about to jump in with the rosters. So let's take a look at that. Costa Rica, like we said, comprised of Lighter Induni, 1JBC Cross, and I saved the best for last, Mata Tontos 10. I love that name just so much. And let's see if he's going to be killing some fools or not, at least in game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a funny name indeed. I mean, I don't know if it's the best, for competitions. Because, I mean, sometimes it's just like, I mean, how can I say that, if you're particularly casting one of his matches? But, I mean, I know him. I actually face some games against him. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just super cool just to see. But, again, I just feel like this a really strong team in particular. So I don't know if they, how it will end. I mean, against the Honduras roster. I'm sorry, I was just like, which team it was, but yeah, Honduras.
It happens to everybody. I mean, you've been doing this for so long. It's easy to get things a little bit mixed up. I totally feel that. I relate to that sentiment as a commentator, but I don't know if we have it at the ready or not, but I'm sure that we'll get to see the Honduras roster right away. So show us that production, please. And there it is. Who is gonna be comprising Honduras, Lena?
Well, I'm not that sure how to pronounce Dal or something, but I'm gonna just call Dal because dollar
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Leon as well, Luis, Alinix, and Chumbi. I think I like that name as well, Chumbi. It sounds cool.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if it means a little something different, like a little nickname over there on Honduras. I know every single country in Latin America has different uses of language, even if it's mostly Spanish all throughout. Like it's very different Spanish from like Argentina to Guatemala or like Colombia and Mexico, for example. So I'm wondering if it's gonna be something like that. But there we have the roster. Like we say, today no sub in action is gonna ensue. Yesterday we did see that Guatemala brought one of their subs, which just so happens to be their best player, of course, being Malves, and he absolutely was tearing Colombia apart alongside Anti and the rest of the boys. I mean, it was definitely a very, very interesting one, but it is all about what we have for today, which is, of course, that Costa Rica versus Honduras. I have to say, like you guys were saying in previous, like you were telling us that Costa Rica actually did have a fairly nice participation last time around. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to repeat that, but it does seem like we are getting a little bit of info right here. Lena, would you mind telling them?
Well, seems like we will see an Inferno, which means that I won't suffer a lot, for this particular map, and especially because I feel it's definitely like a good map, when you can just literally play like in an easiest way, best of one, in comparison with Asian, like yesterday, that, oh my god, so painful to watch. But in this case, I'm excited about this particular map, and well, Roy, we just need to wait, oh my god, to start this game.
Oh yeah, we're just needing to wait for the teams to be ready. Costa Rica and Honduras. I mean, Inferno, it's about what we were expecting for a best of one map, right? I mean, there is, of course, a little bit. I've seen some crazy stuff happen on Inferno. Don't get me wrong. Especially commentating some of the Latin American teams, I've seen some super crazy stuff happen, like 15-round comebacks and such. So, I mean, you don't even want to know. Let me tell you, you don't even want to know. Yeah. But I think it does lend itself for some very interesting stuff. I mean, especially for retakes and whatnot. So, Costa Rica versus Honduras, gonna get exciting over there. A little bit of infernal action, if you may.
Yes, it could get like really close in this map. Yeah, I guess that's the thing about how easy it is. I mean, or how default it might be, because you don't need like a crazy strat. I mean, you can fake a lot in this map in particular. But
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just expecting to see like a really close game, and well, just hoping for the best of luck for both teams.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, we've seen just how things turn something into, well, how do I say it? Like it sometimes it tends, sorry, to turn into a meme because of the saves that tend to happen here. I
Mhm.
mean, you guys have seen all of that. Sometimes you're just not willing to risk because it's pretty much an impossible mission at that point. But we'll see who is gonna start on T first and who will get to close in that same regard. Like I said, I've seen some crazy stuff in Inferno, and so I'm willing to be surprised yet again. So, and I hope that both of these squads can do just that.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. There is a lot of chances and a lot of things that you can actually play. I don't feel. I was just thinking about how city-sided maybe is this map, but I don't know, not really. Because if you have like a really confident and strong T side and you try to play like super aggressive, taking banana control, for example, I think that could define a lot. You know, so I don't know. I just feel like both teams have uh, really high chances, you know, to have, well, a better side than the other one. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It depends, but I'm just excited to see because we don't have specific stats, you know, about. Well,
Yeah,
we mentioned it yesterday. Like these teams are just representing their country, but it's not like they are an actual team that they are competing in other tournaments or something. They just, well, just join to play literally
yeah,
these championships. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one because some of them could just play it, you know, like if you are with your friends or you are just trying to chill, you don't have like crazy stats or something, strats. I'm sorry. So yeah, anything can happen, literally. So I cannot wait, right?
yeah. I mean, it really does come down to that coordination that we were talking about earlier. I mean, especially given the results, I don't want to be too judgmental about how both these teams have been doing, but especially given the circumstances, I'm willing to bet that we're really not going to see something too crazy or anything like that. It is just going to be fairly standard stuff. Uh, at least given from what we've been seeing from them, right? Like, for example, Guatemala yesterday did definitely show up a lot of coordination and a lot of shot calling. I want to say that was going on behind the scenes. But for this time around, let's see and what's the difference right there. Yesterday, Colombia did manage to bring us a very, very close match, even if it didn't go their way. So now, who will get to play the challenger and who will play the final boss, quote unquote? So we are about to find out because the game is almost ready.
We are just ready or almost, yeah, to start this match. But yeah, I mean, I think we just say everything that we cool about the possibilities, you know, that these both teams
Yeah,
have in this particular match. But I mean, again, it's going to be Inferno. I just hope that they can relax and also just have fun, you know, because at the end of the
sure.
day, it's just all about having fun in the game, in the server, and with your friends and specific. So, and I mean, mostly just to mention that it's they managed to get to this competition, you know, so that means a lot, and that also they must feel proud, you know, to represent their country and also,
Yeah.
well, just having this chance to have fun and everything. But Roy, seems like we will just be ready for the game, and also because we need to see the knife round, you know, like who is just going to win this, so they could decide which side they are just going to start the game.
Yeah, let's see where they feel more comfortable. Let's see some knife action. Duelo a muerte con cuchillos, por favor. So, if we are right there, let's jump into it. But fret not, we are still gonna get to see most of the match regardless. I mean, even in spite of which side they decide to pick. I mean, we talked about it. It's not like it's too defined in certain situations. It's really just gonna come down to the coordination in this quote unquote mishmash of players, right? Because it's a national team, not necessarily a squad that practices all the time. But I mean, as we've said, we are well ready to be surprised if at all, or maybe we'll get to see to enjoy a little bit more standard stuff. Which, if I was a betting man, I would be betting on that.
Yeah, let's just go straight away to the game, Roy, because we are ready just to see some CS action today between Costa Rica and Honduras. The ninth round was already played, and that's how Costa Rica ended up on the city side, and Honduras need to try, to play the most aggressive way and make, literally their way to.
Let's see how they do. So far, no pressure onto Banana from the side of Honduras. Fairly interesting to see. They better be getting ready for a flank, if at all. BJM, though, gonna open up, gonna get traded out immediately. Costa Rica looking clean right here. And also, we do have Matatuntos right there on the flank, and he is not alone, which is exactly what we're seeing. Honduras, though, gonna get busy down and dirty with that bomb, and that is how the first plant is gonna go. And look at Alien delivering in a little bit of extra pain, so the chances for a retake, even though they have not gone completely away, we're getting a little bit tougher. However, look at that from one JBC, just managing to get a little bit of how do I say, covering fire, right? Keeping contained the rest of what Honduras had left, and so it ends up being a nice little retake.
Yes, I mean, that was pretty good. I mean, Honduras at least made it to the side, which means that they, well, at least got a little bit of extra money for planting the bomb. And, well, Costa Rica, I don't know why, but in Inferno, I mean, I have seen it more often, I guess, but particularly in Inferno, like, people love to do, to play with dualies, I'm sorry, on the city side. It's just like,
yeah.
I don't know why, but they just like it, just to spam that, and I mean, it works. I mean, we just saw Matatantos getting the double, particularly with this weapon, and also because you can try to face the Glocks. I think it's like the best option right now, Lighter and Cross. Just get in, full control of Banana, completely blinded by his own flash, but Luis just got the double over there. He and Alenix, well, not anymore for Luis, but Alenix, it's left alone, just all by himself, but Matatontos was just waiting for him. Second run on board for Costa Rica, 2-0 so far. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of beginning that I'm expecting for this team in particular.
Yeah, I mean, taking an early lead, not the worst position that Honduras could find themselves. After all, they will get a chance to fight back a little later on, and that little later on is exactly right now, as those AKs are gonna be trying to help their cause. Let's see how they are able to establish their push. It seems like they are finally gonna bring in a little bit of action towards Banana, but that is gonna be received very, very nicely by BJM and Cross, which managed to not only deal in the pain, but get that frag going for themselves already. And so, well, yet again, we are in a situation in which the CTs are going to be favored.
Yeah, I mean, a lot can be decided, as I mentioned it before, by taking, like, Banana control, you know, in Costa Rica, understood that pretty easy, and I mean, right now we just saw that, okay? Like, also, I mean, the support for your mid player, it also helps a lot because, I mean, you just crush, like, the T side, you know? Like, they don't have a chance to, where to stand. Like, they have close Banana, like, close mid, basically, so they have to rotate to secondary, as we just saw, like, on the minimap. And, yeah, I mean, both players will end up trying to take, like, apartments control, but there's still Lighter at least playing, well, really close, and he has the information right now. Oh my god, that was really fast from Alex. Just to take that headshot with the second now over Cross. That's so unlucky and unfortunate because, again, if you have Banana control, you can rotate or put all your effort, like the personal effort, you know, on the A side, you know, like that's the only way that the T side can just go. But, well, at the end of the day, they just whiff a little bit the bullets. still pretty good. Well, I mean, it was like a really nice try, but seems like going to be a first round for the T side. Honduras with just two players, and well, I mean, Alex just literally solved that round.
Yeah, definitely gonna give that one to Alex and that double the way that he was able to confidently sweep right in. Of course, it was not like he was alone. He still had Lennox right there to provide a little bit of help. We've seen that same type of play coming in from Costa Rica now going to be on the side of Honduras. And so the answer is immediate. So it's gonna look at least at the beginning like it's gonna be a little bit of back and forth action. And I'm hoping that this continues to be like so, right? Like we want as close of a match as possible.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, well, there is a lot of things that Honduras can do in this kind of situations, but again, I just feel like Costa Rica, as long as they hold their positions like in the right way, it could definitely, well, work for them. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just expecting, as we just mentioned before, like a really close game, and that's why, well, we'll just continue, of course, with the game. There is, well, just a little things that happen, in the middle
Yeah.
of the game, but so far I like what I see, Roy. I feel like it's going to be an interesting one, but I will just deal with my decision to stand with Costa Rica side.
All right. And I'm gonna have to bring some support towards Honduras, and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Of course, both these teams, like they are showing their stuff early on. Of course, it's not about how you open up a game; it's about how you close it. As we learned yesterday from Guatemala, those guys definitely knew how to close a game, even if it did take them a little bit of time to get there. It was all about crossing that finish line for them, and they did manage to do so. Let's see which team is going to follow that same path today, even if it's not going to be through qualification, but at least through this best of one match.
Yes, definitely. This is just all about the pride and maybe ego, for well, all of
Mm-hmm.
these players. So it's going to be an interesting. This is just like a quick review again, right about what just witnessed in the beginning of that round, where Costa Rica, well, as I say, they are just holding like a really strong banana control. I mean, these skills from Luis were just insane and were on point, but well, at the end of the day, I think this is more about the A players, for Costa Rica, because we just saw them like, if I was the B player, I would just be like, come on, guys, we just took like completely like control of the side, and then you just lost. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it happens. This kind of things are always a thing, when you are maybe, I don't know, just out of your current position, and I don't know. It could be hard, definitely. But again, I just
For
feel Costa
sure.
Rica could be really strong city side. But I don't know. Honduras could surprise us once they switch side.
Yeah, so far I like what I'm seeing from Honduras. They're taking their time. They're taking their battles one at a time. It does have to be said, Costa Rica did fumble the bag a little bit on that last round, but it doesn't mean that we can discredit Honduras. As we said, they pretty much had to brute force their way through and still gain some position, which, of course, I mean, Costa Rica could have been a little bit better prepared for, but that doesn't mean that, well, Honduras cannot find the same success, even in spite of Costa Rica cleaning up their gameplay just a little bit more. But let's see just how clean they come in next time around. If Costa Rica are indeed, like you said, Lena, gonna bring us a very strong CT, and so far, so good for the boys in blue.
Yes, I mean, just look at that. Look at the damage as well that they just did
Yeah.
from just taking the banana control. I mean, I don't know if Honduras at this point, I mean, it's just been like 3 rounds that they have keeping doing that. But, I mean, okay, that was, yeah, nice. I guess JVC is down, so no longer like that banana control. And we can actually see like two players are just trying to get it back to the B side, but the pressure seems to go or at least try to end up on the A side. But yeah, I mean, again, I was saying maybe Honduras just need to try to don't pick, banana, because I mean there is bullets, there is nades, so there is like a party completely over there, and they well just got a little bit hurt. Like we just saw one of their players just dying from that pick, and all the damage that DLR and
Ooh.
also Luis just got from the Nate. Right now, Lennox, it's down, but still a good chance to make this happen, especially after that kill. But Cross on the back was just able to get one with the assistance of
Yo.
Lighter. That was just beautiful to see, but pretty confident as well. I mean, you can tell how good they feel.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Costa Rica, like I said, they fumbled the bag a little bit, but I don't think that they were gonna get it too rattled about that situation. Those picks are really not going the way of Honduras, not getting as much as they could really have got from those specific situations, and in the end, Lighter and the rest of the Costa Rica boys cleaning up house, and now gonna be up by 2.
Well, I mean, it's just like so hard to see like how stubborn they are to just try to pick banana. But okay, Cross with the spray transfer, that was insane, 3k for him. And well, yeah, again, like why Honduras? Just you can take banana control later. It's okay. Nothing happens. Of course, Costa Rica may have a little bit of advantage in also like buying a little bit of extra time. So the A players can maybe push a little bit harder, but I don't know. At this point, I just feel like Costa Rica knows exactly what to do and how they feel, with this situation in particular. So, oh my god, just the damage over there with the nades!
Oh
the
my
flash
lord!
completely blinded. Matatontos just got the double. But Luis, well, just managed to get one. Alex as well. And this end up being a 3v2.
Oh man, that cleanup on mid was definitely not looking too pretty there for Honduras. We've seen actually this same duo, Lennox and Alex, bringing in the heat. It is a 3v2 situation, and it has to be said, Alex really not looking in the prettiest position right now. Just 4 health left right there, and now completely ready to take on those challenges. Very important pick coming on the part of Honduras, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, this is the dynamic duo. These guys still had a little bit of util to try and play with as well. 1JBC gonna have to get fast on his toes. However, I don't think he's gonna be able to reach just in time. Let's hear how now Honduras play the defense right here. It is definitely not gonna be an easy retake situation right here for 1JBC, especially given just how we just saw Alex and Lennox shooting pretty much laser beams out of their guns and making the best out of what was looking to be a terrible situation for them.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking that Costa Rica might feel or look like really confident, but sometimes that's just not the best. Since I mean, you can tell like with their pushes, like they are aware, of course, but at the same time that they could overstep a little bit, and that's something that Honduras, I mean, they are just literally waiting for them for the push, and that's it. Like they get like a free kill. But if they play maybe a little bit more, into the side, just holding their angles and just waiting for them to come to your side, because I mean that's the job of a city side. That could be like a different story. But I feel like that's something that Honduras maybe are taking the same advantage, because as I say, I feel like at least the banana control from Costa Rica is just perfect. It's on point with the utility, and also, I mean, with all the damage. I mean, you can tell we have 1 minute and 20 seconds on that clock, and we already have like 1 man gone, and I mean half HP for one of the players as well, just for the nades.
Yeah, it's been a great utility usage. Also, I like what you're saying about the patience, pretty much, right? It's all been about Costa Rica getting a little too ahead of themselves in certain situations, which Honduras have got them punished for. Like Costa Rica, I mean, maybe trying to go pedal to the metal right here, since They know that they no longer have a chance to qualify. So just a little bit of extra confidence, but how much extra is too much confidence? You know what I mean? And which is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you were pointing out now, slowing things down a little bit more, and that is gonna pay great dividends here for Costa Rica, which have managed to get that frag. And let's see if they can get more than just damage in a couple seconds time. Lennox though lighting up the kill feed, and look at him go. That is 3 to his count already. Gotta set up the smoke to buy a little bit more time. Alex, as always, gonna have his boys back. Not gonna get a chance to shoot right there. Costa Rica getting confident when the time really needed them to. And I mean, completely denying that situation. It was very scary for a couple of seconds. However, it just wasn't meant to be, and they will keep their lead.
And I mean, that ended up way better than they expect, of course. I mean, Honduras managed to get it to the side. But yeah, you can tell that Costa Rica understood a little bit better. I mean, we didn't sound like any kind of oversteps, you know, on the aggression on the A side particularly. So that ended up like really well. Like right now they're just trying to get some information. Lighter just spotted one and managed to get that first kill and somehow through the smoke just trying to spam that. Lennox, it's completely gone. JBC, well, just in a blink of an eye, right? He was already on the back in full push from a banana. So we just are left alone with Alex and Luis, which means that this could not end up really well, especially right now since they are just pushing everywhere. And Luis, well, this is going to be a hard one.
Oh, man, I mean, not the best equipped to begin with, but Costa Rica, they make it seem like a very seamless situation. Being effective in those positions, it's really the best that you can do, not bleeding out more than you really have to. Being decisive, like that is the type of confidence that we needed to see from Costa Rica in this type of situation, right? Like not losing their lives, just getting everything that they could have possibly wanted. And Honduras, well, they're gonna have to get a try for a second time. Oh, yo, what a shot there from one JVZ.
just for a moment, I thought that the timing wasn't just going to play under Costa Rica favor, but well, Crosses did manage to get at least one more from Banana, and they are completely pushed, and Honduras is running out of options at this point. This is well, not anymore, because Lenny just put the difference. He was the last man standing alone, and now... Oh boy,
no way!
He just flicked that wrist on that headshot over Lighter, and this ended up in a 1v1 with Matatontos in and out. Complicated for sure. Lennox with the amazing clutch, 4K and a 1v4 to lose for Costa Rica. Oof, I don't know. I wouldn't be happy at all.
Oh man, that is. We were just talking about it. How Costa Rica decide to not take the risk in certain situations. This time around, though, Lennox is having none of that. He's like, okay, I'm about to go full John Wick right here. And he just gets it. My God, what a round there from Honduras. All in the back of Lennox. Lennox, a couple of rounds already. I mean, last one really wasn't the case because it was pretty much Nico. But the previous to last one, he got 3 frags to be able to make it onto side. They almost managed to brute force their way into an execution pretty much a couple of rounds ago. Now, getting the clutch like full on, like this man is not missing bullets. In Honduras, they are gonna need a lot more of where that came from. They are still trailing by 3 rounds after all.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really nice try just to keep things a little bit closer, you know, that score. But yeah, I mean, Costa Rica... Oh, okay. It's the second time that he's been doing, well, things like that. I mean, they got timing over there. It's definitely all on his side. But yeah, that's just so perfect for him. But anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, still at this point, I feel like Costa Rica, they just need to play a little bit more with the patience. And that's the thing, you know, again, they just feel confident, and especially when you are sure, let's say, that you can win the duels, you know? So, I don't know, this could be really dangerous, especially with the amazing flash immediate trade over DLR as well. But BTM, just from pit, managed to get one. Elan, okay, JBC with the second. It's just Lennox, but we already saw him just clutching this easily. He tried just to no-scope that, but now the pressure of two players just trying to pick him, it could be dangerous. A nice way of JBC to try to close that, because oh my god, that looked a little bit too dangerous to play against this player.
Oh, it was a little bit too close for comfort, for sure. That AWP switching hands around, Lennox almost managing to do what was looking impossible yet again. I was a believer, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not what Costa Rica had in mind, and they clean up. Their mechanics looking on point in that type of situation. I mean, it's easy to lose control whenever you are getting into a tense situation like that. So I really appreciate that they have a cool head over their shoulders. And so Honduras, in spite of Lennox's best efforts, which he's on 9 frags already, by the way. I mean, not the most in the lobby, but definitely gonna amount to something. Even in spite of those best efforts, like I was saying, though, Costa Rica still up ahead. And, well, this is looking like pretty much a little bit of a cleanup job for them, since it's going to be only pistols being sported here by
Oh, Lighter running out of bullets with the UMP, but there is Luis just to try to get a quick one.
What?
As Lennox just did. I don't know how he managed just to... Well, Dink, with just a Glock, having, well, half HP for Matatontos was pretty scary, but at least he was fast enough just to flick that and secure another round for Costa Rica on the city side. But again, I just feel like Lighter also is feeling it. I mean, he's 16 kills so far. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit blind. But yeah, it's just amazing because we have seen this player like killing with a lot of different guns, you know, like of course a rifle, we saw just the UMP as well, pistol, so I don't know, it's just a little bit too crazy as this haul from JBC on Banana. They just lost one. He literally gave his life for the team and also for the support, you know, for the sake of this hold, but we already have 2 players. Matatontos was just so ready with the AWP, but Elan was just waiting on the back. And Lennox, he's just amazing. It's just so crazy to see how they just... Dude, what's going on? Like, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you myself, but all of a sudden it has turned into yet another time that Matatontos is going to be facing off versus Lennox on a West style, an old West style of showdown. Lennox, getting the bomb, not really gonna be enough. He's gonna get to run away. Doesn't get caught by that shot from the AWP, but he does catch the rotation. Matatontos trying to move a little too fast forward, and Lennox catching timing onto that. So it is yet another round in the back of the man himself, the man on your screen. That is gonna allow Honduras to close the gap just a little bit more. We don't have that many rounds this first half after all, and Costa Rica, well, they're gonna be ahead, but just by how much more?
And I mean, the thing is that I feel... particularly with Costa Rica, when they are in this situation in a 1v something, you know, they just try to just close that, you know, like they are eager just to get that kill. And I mean, of course, it's a Lennox where you are trying to face in that situation, but they just got a little bit desperate in these situations, and that's why, well, they end up losing like literally 2 rounds that Honduras has, at least from out of 4. Have been just for these mistakes that Costa Rica have been doing with playing a little bit desperate and Well,
Hmm.
yeah, just literally losing a little bit of the track that like guys, you have the entire control of the map. He was literally by himself on banana, and he was in a sandwich, you know, between three
Yes.
players. Like, how's that possible that you can lose that? So that could be a little bit stressful to think, but I mean, at this point, we mentioned it before, they are just having fun. It's not like they are just going to qualify in a specific, but and well, this is just about the pride. So that was a really nice hold from Lighter. Matatontos was able to get one, but Luis just took him down. He's just all by himself. And yeah, this cannot happen again. Lighter closed this. And that's how Costa Rica is still up in a 9-4.
Yeah, the consistency has just not been there from Honduras. It really does feel like, and I like that you pointed it out, the fact that it's not like there are freebies that Costa Rica have been giving away, but it does feel like it in certain situations. I mean, of course, it has been an amazing job from players such as Alenix in capitalizing on those mistakes that Costa Rica has made. But the thing is that more often than not, Costa Rica are not making those mistakes. Yeah, it's happened a couple of times, but that doesn't mean that's gonna be the story for forever. They're trying to force their way once again. A little bit of rushing action going on. DLR
Oh my gosh.
gonna catch that frag through the smoke. It matters not if he
Once
cannot
again.
see. Oh, but lighter
Oh
though.
boy. Oh my god, I'm a little bit stressed. Especially when you see a Lennox in this kind of situation. Okay, he burned to death, but at least he was able to close that on time. 9-5. Last round of the first half, where Costa Rica look pretty solid on the city side and their banana control as well. But right now, if they are in the situation where they need to attack, I don't know how cool that end. I just hope they don't desperate enough, you know, to keep making this kind of mistakes constantly.
Yeah, like desperation really can play against you in those situations, especially in competition like it, because it's very different, right? When you're playing, which is I think why it was so important, or we were touching upon the fact that maybe there's not as much pressure in this match, but that is related to what I was gonna talk about, which is like you have to keep the nerves under control in this type of situation. Like it is the nature of competition, unfortunately. Like 90% of the game is gonna be mental. Yes, you could have the best shot ever, but you need to keep your wits about yourself when you are in under those high pressure situations. I mean, it's like a live performance, pretty much. You get one shot to do it, and that is it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that is a lot of literally in this game, but, well, I mean, I just feel like some of them, well, are, I mean, you can tell, like, who are more competitive in this kind of well, situations for, because Athletics got, like, a really hold into that right mental, you know, to try to clutch, because he did it, like, what, 2 times? At least in a 1v something. But we just saw in the last round that when they took like banana, well on B in particular, he got like a 4K. So it's just crazy to think that he maybe it's a little bit more prepared for this kind of situations. He doesn't get like the nerves, you know, maybe. But at the same time, I mean, he's hitting his shot. So probably a good DM sessions he just did before starting this game because we already can tell that it's on point. His bullets.
Oh yeah, I mean the shot is right there. There is no denying that. I mean, you may call it what you like, guys, but whatever you prefer to call it, but that man was not missing any bullets. Nonetheless, though, it is still gonna be a situation in which, like we said, Costa Rica are gonna be ahead. And as we are going into our last round for this half, well, will it be double digits here for Costa Rica? I mean, it's not the worst position yet to be at if you're Honduras. I mean, 5. It's about what you are expecting out of T in certain situations, about the minimum benchmark that you are aiming for. But I don't think that they want to settle with just that. So Honduras I think they're gonna want to make this one into an only 3 round difference, and maybe they can capitalize after they get to play CT, because that is the question that remains. Yes, Honduras has maybe not been super stellar on on their tee. They have banked quite a bit on some individual plays and some mistakes coming in from Costa Rica, but whenever it's time for us to turn things around, which is like right around the corner, then it's where things could get really, really interesting, especially if Honduras get this next pistol round.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. That could define a lot once we switch sides. But I just feel like Costa Rica needs to manage to get this round on their favor, so they could just finish this with a 10-5. But yeah, just especially for the momentum that maybe Honduras could have. I mean, if you are a player like a Lennox and you are just having these crazy rounds, yeah, everything can happen right now with all the aggression of the world. There is constant traits for each team. Lennox, yeah, the man of the moment. He just managed to get one, but that was enough. That was a really important and good trade. But JBC is just left alone, and especially with just a deagle, that's going to be a really hard. And well, now they have the advantage and the side control basically, especially right now since he's just taking. Oh my God, library.
Ooh.
Crosshead didn't check even. He was just like, yeah, no problem. This is
But
it, and
what?
that's how we finish. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like the try, of Costa Rica or doing this kind of aggression on Banana. But at the end of the day, Honduras got like the advantage of the rifles. So that's it. I mean,
Mhm.
it was a really good first half. But I want to see how confident and how good Lennox particularly could feel now that he's the one waiting for them, and well, how Costa Rica it's just going to make this happen.
Yeah, it is an entirely different dynamic. Waiting for the clock to run out and playing against that clock. First point of encounter gonna be a right away. They're gonna decide to jump into the fire, and it's looking like a spectacle right here for Alien and the rest of the boys. I mean, Honduras off to a great start, and that lead that Costa Rica they fought so hard to get, it could be crumbling away in front of them in just a couple more seconds, especially when shots like this. Alex, look at this man go, just a perfect headshot right there. It's gonna be all left to cross if I am not mistaken right here, because the numbers are double. No, it is one JBC. Sorry. Them, or are they switched out? I think they're switched out, but it matters not. Cross ends up falling, and well, that result we did see coming from a mile away after this play here from the boys in blue near sight. I mean, everybody jumping over the fire, but they were no Evil Knievel or anything like that. I mean, you need a motorcycle for that trick. Didn't they tell you? And unfortunately, Honduras unfortunately for Costa Rica, Honduras is going to come out on top of that one. And let's see if they can keep on going with the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. This is. I mean, it's just like I'm not a huge fan of what just happened in the last round, especially with Costa Rica just trying to run through the fire. I don't know. That's a really, really bad idea, and it's a little bit sad, because they have the advantage. They need to try to keep that, and especially after, securing like a pistol round, that will be crucial. So, well, anything can happen at this point, especially now that Lighter got Alex's head, but DLR playing really, really close. Just getting or making sure that he could get, one more, but Luis as well. He was like, no worries, I got you, and that's how they can just literally close this. And well, this is getting close, yeah, literally as we just were expecting before.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on. I mean, Honduras get their wits about themselves, and all of a sudden, it's looking like an entirely different game. Will they be able to keep this same track going for themselves? Will they be able to hold on to their momentum? I mean, a round such as this, in which you're going to have a couple of Deagles and then the Galils coming in from Costa Rica. Maybe it's the right time for them to do so. So far, Honduras, they have been decisive when they need to, but if they don't have to overextend, they are not doing it. And exactly this is what we are looking at right now. And look at Lennox. That patience is gonna pay off. The right weapon for that situation. Matatontos, unfortunately, not finding anything more than just a little bit of damage. And yet again, Honduras looking like an entirely different team here on CT.
Yes, I mean it's all about the side confidence that it could give you. You know, like maybe they were like, yeah, no worries, City side is our side. So right now I just feel like they are more coordinate, and at least in this a few rounds that we just saw, they are not doing the crazy things that Costa Rica were trying to do, you know, when they were pushing on mid, on apps and banana, everything. They're just playing more into side, just waiting for them, because that's also a good way just to try to secure the round, you know, because you can just be sure that you are just going to hit your shot, and especially if you are waiting from your position, you know, like from side, from pit, from arches, I don't know. So that's it. Honduras are, yeah, taking banana control as well. They're being a little bit more careful than Costa Rica did before. But at least right now, I just like, and I'm a little bit scared for the sake of Costa Rica, because Honduras is looking really crisp on this side.
Definitely crisp. I mean, maybe not burnt to a crisp. That is exactly what Costa Rica are trying to do to Honduras. But they're like, nah, man, we take it. And shooting from no position, like, it goes both ways, I think, because you know maybe where to be expecting those positions. However, as a CT, you do get the advantage of, okay, I'm the one that is waiting for your approach, regardless of whether I'm going to be in a very well-known position, such as the pit, such as the graves, or something like that. But, like, that little bit of extra time taken away from reaction time gonna pay huge dividends right here. And earlier on, it was Costa Rica, the ones that were able to take full advantage of that. So far, though, now it's Honduras, but like I was about to say, so far in this round at least, Honduras already down one player. Let's see what Costa Rica can make out of this situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now I'm scared, as I say, because it's 9-9. You know, it's they are, well, completely close. This could go to, well, each team. You know, like it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that I was just so sure about what Costa Rica could do as a JVC. Just got the Luis without a problem, but seems like this is going to be like a fake. Well, kind of, because we already have like one player from Honduras waiting on side, but Lighter was fast enough just to see him, and now taking full control on B side. This seems that it's going to be for Costa Rica, especially right now. Cross on the flank, just getting Alex head, and DLR just by himself, waiting from apps. And yeah, he needs to save that. That's the only chance to at least try to secure the game and being a little bit more close.
Not meant to happen in that situation, though. Costa Rica looking relentless right there. They might have called the lead forfeit for a few moments, but they were not willing to let go of their lead. Overall, it is only one round, though. Honduras can still make it happen. And not saving that little bit of resources, well, is going to end up costing them dearly this time around. It is, I mean, at the very end, it was just really not a position in which whatever was left of Honduras really had much chances of surviving, because, I mean, the collapse was coming from the call-out. Like, the flank was already set up, the information was there, so I think it was just a matter of time. Honduras not able to do much more after. Now, though, let's see how this one develops. After all, the ones that have to press the issue are Costa Rica yet again.
Yes, let's see how they are going to manage this. The banana control was just perfect and so clean for BJM, and also, I mean, That flash assist was on point. And Lighter just waiting on the flank perfectly. Just getting one and not the second though. Over Alex with that MP9, but Cross and, well, one of his teammates as well are just playing really, really close from that just to try to get the advantage. Pick again. What a beautiful flash from BJM. DLR is down and now it's Alex all by himself against, well, 4 of the players just literally running through Banana down just to, well, finish him. And, well, the advantage, again, it's on the Costa Rica side.
Only Lighter really falling on that round. Costa Rica looking stronger and stronger. It did take them just a little bit to try and get that engine heated up. But have they fully heated up now? It's looking like it, Lena. It's definitely looking like it. Though, of course, we may be too soon to call those shots because, after all, it is only 2 rounds apiece. Right here, BJM doing his job, but maybe not enough. Look at the aggression coming right in Honduras. Just trying to make the most out of that situation, and an M4 is what they got so far.
And I mean, that was also a really good rotation from Costa Rica because he knew that the pressure was coming from Banana. Okay, Lighter. He wasn't able to get the 4, but at least JBC was close enough just to finish with his job, basically. 4K, beautiful executed by Costa Rica, and also a good reading, I must say, because they knew that they were just pushing, and I mean, after that kill with the information, they just, you know, easily run to A side, just planting the bomb without a problem. And Lighter, I mean, once again, the control that this player has, in particular with his spray, is just beautiful.
Oh, it's definitely been. It has definitely been. There is a reason, just like we were saying how Lennox and Alex were one of the main reasons why Honduras was looking so hot for a few seconds. Lighter, definitely. Well, I mean, he's on 31 already. What there's not to love about that if you are in Costa Rica's side, you know what I mean? And continue to add to the tally. 32 actually for the time being. I'm glad that we get to see his POV, and he immediately turns around and deletes Luis out of existence. Cross gonna do exactly the same. Just gonna take a little bit of a look to the right, a little bit of a look to the left, and that is all she wrote. Rather fast round going on right here for Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, that all of a sudden they just learn exactly what to do. And I mean, that's just perfect, you know, because they knew that Honduras were trying to do like kind of the same. I mean, that Costa Rica did, like being a little bit over aggressive, at least on the Banana side. And I mean, Costa Rica just weren't like, yeah, we can do that as well. You know, we're T side, but let's just try to face each other. And we just saw like constantly on the past few rounds that the first kills, the first bloods were on Banana. You know, like there was like important trades, and it was just constant, you know, like this kind of aggression for both sides. And that was just beautiful to see because, I mean, at the end, it's just about who can, well, hit their shots first.
Yeah, it sometimes does come down to it. I mean, there is... If we can simplify CS down to that degree, then definitely does come down sometimes to who gets to hit those shots first. This time around, though, Honduras really were standing in not too solid off a ground. Not solid enough, at least, to be able to do much. We did see them get aggressive earlier on. This time, Costa Rica not gonna have to deal with any of that. And so it ends up being yet another fast round. And this is where the numbers are getting crunched. Only 2 rounds away here for Costa Rica to get a little bit more glory for themselves, even if that qualifying spot has left their reach. It's completely outside for both teams, actually, but, I mean, getting to show what they were heavy contenders last time around, at least.
Ooh, the nade, once again, they, good as, I mean, learn how to do this effective damage, I will say, and Lennox now the top fragger of this very same team. We just try to hold him back. Now, again, the rotation, it will just run through mid without being scared at all. But that pick, oh my god, it's so annoying because sometimes I don't even see him either. You know, it's like weird, like
Yeah.
a shadow that makes. But yeah, I mean, whatever. Cross is just there, so without a problem.
Oh.
Is it lighter? Maybe this wasn't your chance to keep fragging out, but I can do that for you. DLR just waiting exactly for a BJM. But Cross, with the full control of arches, was able to take Elan down. It's just a Lennox and DLR against three players of Costa Rica. Even though JBC is 48 HP, Cross is 16, and Matatontos with the AWP could do a lot of damage. But look at their positioning, especially right now, since they have, oh my god, that pixel, but he just hit the no scope and quick scope. Everything was just over there. But Lennox, we just saw clutching this before. Well, just the timing wasn't right for him. Cross with the last kill and the match point right now for Costa Rica.
Match point it is, and Costa Rica, well, they're looking solid on both ends. Now Honduras, not the best of rounds, even in spite of a little bit of action there by DLR, which did manage to get that flick at the very end. Matontos there managing to correct the path, getting on the right side of history. And problem is here, well, because of how things developed earlier on, Honduras really not going to be in the most solid ground. It's not like it's too bad for them, but now it is very bad after that pick from BJM.
And no, it was a Lennox, like the most dangerous man in the Honduras side.
Yeah.
At least he's just down. So right now their chances. I mean, I don't want to say that the rest are not killing, of course, but I mean, he's been like a strong pillar, you know, in this match so far. Here, Matatontos with a scope. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's weird that pick, you know, because you're holding like patiently and they just pick like so slow that your brain doesn't even react, you know? It's like you were expecting them to cross running, maybe, and well, you know, just to flick that. But that's so unlucky for Matatontos so far. But hey, this is a 2v2. Still Honduras trying to survive at least one more round. But now that the bomb is planted, the clock is ticking, and Honduras need to retake this.
Oh my lord, it's not gonna work out right there. Lena, this is about to come to a close, but Honduras may still be standing strong right there. Cross is able to get that though, and that is how it ends. Costa Rica gonna be claiming this best of one. And I mean, it did look a little bit closer at times, but definitely Costa Rica up and ahead. Honduras were not able to catch up.
Well, that was really nice for them. And I mean, I told you, I knew that last year they were pretty solid, and I know these guys as well. So I knew that what they were capable of. So they just demonstrate that, and that's how they close this best of one. As we mentioned before, this is not like they're just going to qualify. It was like the last game that they needed to play because each team played 4 matches. But yeah, I mean, at this point, at least they can claim, let's say, top 3 or some. No, 4 because there are 5 teams.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, not going to be the case here for Honduras, but Costa Rica, nonetheless, like you said, showing up why they were one of the big favorites last time around, even if, unfortunately, the cards didn't go exactly on their favor for this new situation. I mean, new year, new set of challengers. Guatemala, though, I gotta tell you, they are looking just as strong as the last time around. As you guys could tell, though, even unfortunately, both of these teams were not, well, just to repeat it one more time, to really hammer down that point, Costa Rica and Honduras already didn't have a chance to qualify. So, after all, it was just for a little bit of pride, but Costa Rica coming out on top.
Yeah, that was a really good match to see, and especially, I mean, it was an inferno. I bet like all of them were, well, chilling, you know, just trying to have fun, as we just mentioned before. But yeah, I mean, right now after that win, it's going to be interesting to wait for our second match of the day, right? Because we will have Ecuador against Guatemala, and let me tell you, I feel this is going to be for Guatemala. Like, yeah.
I mean, it is definitely going to be a very interesting one because it could shake things up. There's 2 spots up for qualification, and if Ecuador manages to get this one, then things could get really spicy, let me tell you. But I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
wait around until we get to see it. I don't know if we're going to see an MVP for this time around as well, but it
Mhm.
seems like we are indeed just waiting for the graphics to be ready. Who would your bet be on this one? I mean, I think it's a pretty safe one already. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but I mean, I'll let you take it. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in general, like they were 3 players for from Costa Rica that I could easily tell you that they made a difference. I mean, we just
Yeah.
saw Lighter, of course, also JBM is his name. I just forgot for a moment. How was JBM? It was right. JBC.
Yeah. Yes. The-
I was just changing one letter. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean JBC also did amazing, especially with the flash assist. I always say it. It's not always about who top frags. It's also about who is supporting the team in the right way. You know, like a good flash from your
Yes.
teammate that was that help you to pick, and also, I mean, found like all these players blind. It's just beautiful. So I just saw multiple times these flash assists from these 2 players in particular. I mean, it was JVC, Lighter as well. But I mean, Cross just literally clutch the situation over there to close that map. So I don't know. I guess in general they work really well in as a team, and that's how they are here, you know, and that's how or why they just won this match.
I mean, I think that come next year, if we do see a similar lineup, or mostly the same lineup for this time around, if they do get to work in a little bit harder on their coordination and stuff like that, I think that Costa Rica could reprise some of that former glory that they've reached. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes out for them in the future, even if for this tournament in specific, for this qualifier in specific, it's not going to be possible anymore for them. Then we are just waiting around to see a little bit about how that MVP went. We talked about it, and I love when you say it like that. The fact that it's not all about fragging, right? I mean, CS is such a deep game, such a different game to most other shooters in the regard of where the strats are emphasized, and sometimes it's not about who was shooting the gun, but who helped you shoot the gun. And well, I guess we'll get to see. It's about what you value most. After all, it is a game about planting the bomb. After all, not about only getting the frags, but you can also get those W's by getting those frags. So we cannot subtract any substantial amount of importance to that fragging as well. We'll just get to see who got the glory, or who did the production things got the best part of that W there for Costa Rica.
I mean, on the other side for Honduras, we can talk about analytics as well. You know, like we can definitely be happy somehow for him. I mean, sadly they didn't win, but he clutched like twice at 1v4 or something like that. It was just crazy because I don't know, he just literally got the mental, because we talk about it as well, like about how maybe like you need to control really well the nerves, and it worked out for him. I mean, at least he got like some clips, you know. So he can
that he got for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure he can post it over there. You know, he can tag us as well, because we were excited for those coaches. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they demonstrate like both teams that why they're here, and especially why they just managed to be in this tournament in a specific, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can also, after watching some of these replays, getting to relive some of what we already witnessed in this specific match. We can talk about a bit of the results and how they've been going, because we've been bombarding you with the fact that that was maybe not the most important match for results, since both Costa Rica and Honduras were down 0-3 in results, and every team plays 4 matches in this format, meaning that, well, of course, being a round robin versus the rest of the competition. But we do have some interesting stats. So Guatemala being at the lead so far, they haven't lost a single match. Colombia losing their match to Guatemala, but winning versus everybody else. Ecuador, Costa Rica, and Honduras. Ecuador getting their 2 dubs versus Costa Rica and Honduras. And finally, though, like we were talking about, like you were mentioning, Guatemala and Ecuador. If Ecuador managed to somehow get it, then that could really turn interesting, because it would be a triple tie situation, at least in W's side. I don't know if they're gonna count losses or not for this one, but it could still lend itself for a tie situation between Colombia and Ecuador, which, I mean, it would come down to head-to-head, but still, I don't know how tiebreakers are going to be, or if it's going to be played by match straight, because, of course, we have been playing best of ones pretty much, and so maybe just a little bit more action to try and make the most fair decision out of this one.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, that could be a really interesting one. But as you say, I mean, I don't know, because yesterday we mentioned a little bit about the score, you know, like how end up like the previous matches that they have, that of course there wasn't like a stream. But I mean, Guatemala has not lost, you know, like so far, like they have 3 games played. And I mean, I say it yesterday, they play Colombia, and they were like the top 2, you know, like the strongest of the competition. And I mean, Guatemala was just really on point, so I'm pretty sure again that they could be just winning this next match in particular. But well, there is a lot to see. I mean, everything can really be a surprise, you know. That's why we are here for as well, for the extra spicy and the surprise, basically.
Basically, I mean, I'm always one to root for the underdog. I have to say, there's specific situations in which I root maybe for the homies, maybe for a team or a player that I really like. But for the most part, I'm gonna be rooting for the underdog. And as a commentator, I mean, it's not like I have to, but since we have to remain as neutral as possible, but more often than not, like at least personally, outside of commentary, I would be rooting for the underdog, because I just think it lends itself to interesting storylines, you know, like to pressing the issue a little bit more, to really bringing the best or the worst out of certain players, out of certain teams in those high pressure situations. And I just love to see how it really manages to craft those. Maybe they were diamonds in the rough, but they are getting polished a little by little under that pressure, and that is just a beauty to see here in competition, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's, well, some beauty in general, you know, in the esports. It's just like, I just love it. I just love how excited it could get, and especially when there is a lot of passion, you know, for all of these players in particular. But yeah, I mean, I was checking, particularly right now, about the score between, well, the previous matches from Ecuador in particular. And I mean, they lost against Colombia 16-4. And then, yeah, I mean, that's it. I think I just had that information. But that was like, I mean, crazy to think, because Guatemala won against Colombia, you know? So that means that probably statistically is, well, most likely going for Guatemala in some particular score or similar, and I must say. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Roy. This is just going to be an interesting match. I'm pretty sure about that. And well, we will see the MVP, well, after a quick break of 5 minutes, and we will be back with you guys for all the action of the second match. Welcome back to the World Esports Championship. Today, I'm so excited to just, see this second match that we have today, right between Ecuador and Guatemala.
Ecuador and Guatemala, indeed, that's what the action is going to be at. We already saw yesterday how Guatemala fared versus one of the other teams that we thought was going to be able to challenge them, and indeed, they got challenged. Now, Ecuador are going to have to repeat on that same regard that Colombia tried. However, before we get into the next match, we do have to make honors for the MVP of last match. And we do have it right there for Costa Rica. Of course, it was going to be lighter. We were talking about it. This man was absolutely destroying everybody that was in front of him. 34 frags and no small feat right there. A lot of damage being dealt every single time. So very well deserved, even if lighter didn't do that all by his own. He definitely got quite a bit of help from the rest of the squad, but he got to shine the most, and this is why he's the MVP.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see like the executions after, having a lot of support for his teammates. Even though like the headshot percent as well, 55% of 34 frags. It's just crazy to think that he was just so clean with those headshots. But well, that's it. Lighter got the MVP, but now I guess it's time to focus a little bit, Roy, about the next match that we mentioned before. It seems like it's going to be a little bit hard for Ecuador since they already faced Colombia and they lost 60-4. So right now Guatemala just demonstrate that they were on top of Colombia. So yeah, it could be a little bit hard, but I don't know. I believe that Ecuador also will have maybe some good strats to show us today.
Yeah, my weeb brain is trying to power scale this thing, right? We have Ecuador that got defeated by Colombia that were very close to Guatemala, but still it was very, very decisive in the favor of Guatemala. So if we are playing power scaling right here, then you might get an idea of how this one is going to fare. However, we may be jumping the gun. Actually, the most interesting result, as we were talking in the previous part of this broadcast, would be if Ecuador actually managed to defeat the behemoths that are Guatemala, which are by far the favorites right here, and managed to make this into a tied situation, a triple tie as far as wins go. And then, well, some tiebreakers would have to ensue, and that would definitely be very, very interesting. But like I said, it's not like we're going to count Guatemala out just yet. Because they have quite a roster that they're going to be facing off. That is Ecuador, which is about to be on your screen.
Yeah, on this side we have Widow, Pocario, Hulix, Jaxi, and Gore, which means, well, I think I just know Widow, by the way, but in general, I'm just hoping for the best of this team. But well, we already saw, at least on the other side, that there is also quite a few names, right, to be scared of, right?
Oh, for sure. Definitely Ecuador. These five guys are going to have their work cut out for themselves. With Opocario, Hudex, Jaxi, and Gore, they better have put in some reps the night before. They're getting ready, since like the common theme that we've been talking about is that maybe these guys, they are not used to playing with one another, but just a little bit of time to settle down, to maybe go over a little bit of tape. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing the good all to improve. Let's see how that fares though here for Ecuador, because they do have, as we've been talking about, they do have a very, very, very difficult opponent right in front of them.
Yeah, that must be a little bit scary. They won two matches as well. If I really, yeah, I will be too. But at least I don't know. It's just like a good chance to, just try to demonstrate that they can actually do something, as you mentioned, like against a team that well, has been so strong. And well, I don't know. I guess it depends because I told you about Malps, right? Like he's the sub for the team, but he's actually playing with them. And I mean, he also, if I remember correctly, he's ideal, you know, for this team in particular. Not like he is like in the professionally scene, but he's helping them a lot. You know, he's teaching a lot to his teammates, and that's why. Well, let's just recount about the names of this amazing team. That, well, most likely it's going to be like the best team, you know, of this championship.
Oh, for sure. This qualifier definitely has some tough competition in front of them because of this squad that's about to be on your screen. I mean, it did indeed. It will be. We do have the roster for this time around. And look at that. Anti-Midis, Themen, Stage, and Freerest are going to be playing for today, it seems like. But we did see a little bit of a switcheroo yesterday, and it was Malbs that took the spotlight. So let's see if he is going to be lurking in the shadows for this one, maybe sitting this one out, or if that national pride is going to come forth, and we'll get to see, well, the best representative from that country try to help out his boys once again. We did see Anti-Midis, Theman, and Freerest were definitely great support for the man himself, and there's a reason when you called it, Lena, why these guys are favored to not only win this match, but really take the qualifiers in a pretty much dominant way. They have yet to lose a single match, and well, if that doesn't tell you anything, then I don't know what to say. Guatemala definitely gonna be up ahead by a little bit as far as the bets go.
Yes, definitely. And that's why we are just going to see which map we will see between these teams. Well, Mirage, it's going to be right. I like it, you know, because in the previous match we saw Inferno. Right now we have a Mirage, and I just like to see this kind of maps in the best of one, you know. And actually, I mean, Ecuador might have, well, a little bit more chances, you know, because Mirage it's a map that you play, you know, often. I mean, you breathe Mirage basically when you play CS. So at this point, I just feel like, you know, you don't need like a crazy strat, you don't need crazy smokes, crazy utility. You just need to be, well, on point with your shots. And I'm pretty sure that they might show us, you know, a little bit of that. And I really hope as well that they got their DM routine, you know, before the match. Like they were just like full try-harding and just trying to get the most of kills of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I totally get it. Getting that aim on point, for sure. We did see a little bit of that earlier on. Now on two different squads, though, Ecuador and Guatemala. Like I said, they better be putting in those reps. Guatemala maybe gonna come in a little bit more confident into this, just making it parallel to what we just saw with Costa Rica. I mean, we saw how they were maybe a little more confident, but in certain regards, it was a little bit too much confidence in specific situations where they overextended and they got punished by their opponents. Guatemala, I don't think they're that same type of squad. Like, yes, we have seen them make mistakes. I mean, it is the nature of competition. Everybody is going to make mistakes. You cannot play perfect, but they are great at diminishing the returns, at diminishing those mistakes. And so we'll see. I think we'll get to appreciate a bit of a stylistic change in that regard.
Yes, I mean, I don't know. It's just the thing is, there is a lot that chances that you can get. I mean, for both sides, when you are in this situation where maybe your team is not that strong as the other one, you know. But it depends a lot of the map. So again, I just feel like Ecuador has a little bit more of the chance here. But I don't know. I mean, again, Guatemala could be like really crazy, really strong. And I mean, we just saw them with Costa Rica against Honduras, you know, because Costa Rica were, well, a little bit better and well, the aim related, let's say. and Guatemala could be the same thing, but Costa Rica made mistakes, because they were like being a little bit over aggressive, like making this kind of mistakes that usually, you not allowed to make. So Guatemala could end up with the same thing, like they could be a little bit more aggressive, and that could end up like really bad. It depends a lot about the timing as well, and also if Ecuador is a little bit more patient, like if they learn how to hold precisely that kind of aggression from them, well, it could benefit them, like, for sure.
Yeah, we'll get to see about that. Just a quick reminder, guys, we are in plenty of platforms and plenty of languages, muchos idiomas, muchas plataformas para todos ustedes. So thank you so much for being a part of this global effort. Guatemala definitely want to make it in. There's quite a bit of cash going on come time for championships, so I definitely don't think that they want to miss out on that. We did have numbers, if I am not mistaken. Yep, it is 100,000 bucks that are gonna be up for display right there. So there's definitely quite a bit of an incentive for these teams to make it out. And let's not forget also, like, this is a regional qualifier for the Northern Cone, the northern part, let's call it Central America, but we are gonna have a little bit of the Southern Cone in the days to come, so that is also gonna be very exciting, maybe a bit better known for regions such as maybe, I don't know, Brazil, of course, but yeah, it is also gonna be very, very exciting to see what or how that is gonna develop. After all, it is yet again another chance to shine a little bit of light into regions such as this one.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot to show, and also, we mentioned it before, right? About how special it is to have this kind of, tournaments, competitions to support or keep supporting, like the scene, and especially in Latin America. So that's something that we do appreciate a lot. And I bet that these teams, as I say, they played before, like last year at least. So they know each other, and that right now, at least this year, 2023, is like a new chance, and especially because this year it's going to be a LAN event. So let's remember that, and it's just going to be super fun. I'm just so excited for the years to come, let's say, on the future of the competitions with all these events.
Yeah, for sure. The LAN is a whole different environment. You had the chance to be at a LAN not too long ago, and so would you mind saying a little bit of how that experience fares? Because of course it is very different from just sitting on your own house playing online. So what would you say, aside from the fact that obviously you're there in person, right? Like, what would you say are some of the other factors that maybe are not so obvious that come into play online?
Well, I guess the excitement. That's, kind of simple of me to say, but it is. It actually affects a lot on the mentality of the players, because, you get to see your teammates, you get to first bump, like, everyone. So it's just amazing. It's just pretty cool. I guess in general, it's a good experience. It also gives you a lot of motivation, I must say. So yeah, it's just perfect for them. And also, I guess mentally it helps you a lot in general. So as a player, it's like a growth, that you get. As you say, it's not the same like sitting on your own house. Maybe you are a little bit more comfortable with your own setup, monitor, whatever. But in the LAN event, it hits different. So I feel something that a lot of players really appreciate. Like, I think every player in the world must say that a LAN event is just amazing. I doubt that someone would say, no, I don't like it. I don't know, it will be weird.
Yeah, I think that whenever there's a chance for a game to be played online or to be played online directly in person, the competitive players will always choose the LAN experience. Maybe they're not as confident or they're a little bit shy or whatever. Social skills aside, though, it is an entirely different ballpark to be playing at because of not only being there in person and the fact that it's literally LAN, you don't have to deal with internet issues or anything like that, but also because of the experience, I think, because of the pressure of the situation. It's felt a little bit more, I guess. I mean, it's not like you're not going to feel any pressure, even at the comfort of your own home, but when it does come to those situations in which you are pretty much out of your comfort zone, is somewhere very far away from home, maybe. I mean, staying at a place where you don't normally sleep, and I mean, all of these different conditions lend themselves, and then you have crowds, and then you have to deal with like referees and stuff like that, and it just it can get into some players' heads. I think that playing on land, especially in team esports, is definitely a whole different ballpark from what we can expect from online. And so I'm very excited that we will get to see this after a bit of qualification action. But of course, not to discredit the effort that online does bring. Like I said, it does manage to bring forth the spotlight into regions that maybe have it harder to travel to the LAN, or that maybe have it a little bit tougher to bring their players to different places. So it still has its advantages, it still has its merits. But I do have to agree, there's pretty much nothing like LAN.
Yes, definitely. This is going to be an interesting one if they got the chance to live this LAN experience. But Roy, seems like, well, we're just about to wait, right, and start, particularly for this second match of the day between Ecuador and Guatemala. And just like a quick reminder that in case that Ecuador wins this match against Guatemala, we will have a triple tie, basically, between Guatemala, Colombia, and Ecuador, because I mean, Colombia just won 3 matches, lost 1 against Guatemala yesterday, and Ecuador has been won, like 2 matches already, and just lost 1. So this could, put like a little bit of a difference here if they make it, of course, against this tremendous team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were talking about the records earlier on. Costa Rica 0-3, and also Honduras 0-3, losing to all of the teams above. But yeah, now 1-3 and 0-4. Thank you for the correction there, production, because we already had the match in between one of them. Honduras actually going 0-4, and then Costa Rica managing to get their dub under their belt. But yeah, Ecuador beating those two teams. Maybe a bit of a confidence booster in that regard, but still falling short versus Colombia in quite an interesting fashion, let's say. And now they're going to be facing versus the Behemoths. So it is they've got their work cut out for them for sure. We'll find out, though, if they can make the quote-unquote miracle happen. I mean, I'm all for it. Like I told you guys earlier on, I'm all for the underdog story. However, I think it's looking a bit tougher this time around. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, a little bit. Well, we mentioned it before, just for these stats, and also the experience that particularly Malphs has, because again, it's not like these guys from the team here are experienced players, because they play a lot. Like, definitely they are good.
Yeah.
But also it helps, like, all the wisdom, that Malphs brings to the team, and in particular that helps a lot, because he's idealing, he's like taking control, of what's next or what's going to happen, and also is putting like some effort, to help his teammates grow into the scene. So I think that does it just beautiful in some way, because also it's like you're sharing your knowledge, and that's all about growing and also helping your own community, let's say, just to keep growing. And with community, I mean like the whole Latin America, but everyone just doing a little bit of their job or their work for to make this happen, let's say. But at least in Malph's case, I think that's just perfect for his teammates.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like, just having that extra little bit of backup can be, or can really go a long distance for the rest of the squad. Definitely, we saw it yesterday. And by the way, I'm very glad that Malphs is taking his time to actually kind of coach the team, his teammates as well, like, give him some pointers or whatnot. Because we saw it yesterday. Like, I mean, there was a couple of situations in which his teammates were overextended, and I'm willing to bet that Malvs gave the call. It is like, okay, guys, you need to change this up, and they did. So also huge props to what the rest of the Guatemalan squad for being receptive in that regard. Because one thing is being told something, and a very different thing is executing on what you were being told.
Yeah.
So there's also a lot of credit to the rest of the Guatemalan squad for that one. And it seems like we are waiting just for a little bit longer while we set up those knives for you guys to see how things are going to be developing here on Mirage.
Yes, I'm excited to see. But again, I just feel like in Mirage there is no like an actual need of I mean this desire to get like city side, like straight away. So
yeah,
you could play like really in a passive way, like both sides. In a passive way, I mean more like relaxed, in particular, because I mean I don't know, you can have like a really good T side, you can have like a really good CT as well. I don't know, it's just all about feeling confident. So I'm hoping for the best for Ecuador in particular, since Guatemala, well, again, they are just feeling it since yesterday, and they have feeling it since last year, basically.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys have not stopped, not only with the health of their superstar, but the rest of the squad has been there as well. So I mean, yeah, as you said, we're just the excitement is coming through, and we are getting ready indeed to go jump into it and see how this one is going to go, Lena.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun since Ecuador just got the city side. Guatemala knows and needs to attack completely. Oh, it's going to be an interesting one. We need to wait a little bit longer. I mean, at least they got their side chosen so far, but just to make it a little bit more excited.
Yeah, I totally get it. Just playing with the suspense, for just a couple of seconds. Guatemala gonna have to deal with the T's ordeals first. Let's say it that way. I mean, but there should still be plenty of for them to do right here. Ecuador, though, let's see how they play this one. As you said, maybe it's time for them to take a little bit of a chill pill and try to take it one step at a time. And that may be the most effective strat for them. I mean, it's not like anybody is going to be a stranger to Mirage at this point. But, I mean, nonetheless, when you are facing odds like this, I think that you really have to keep it as simple as possible. I mean, it's not like you have to super overcomplicate things every single time. Yes, when we are talking about like the highest level of play or whatnot, then you really need to see those extra bit of explosive plays or that extra mile that players have to go through. But when the odds are stacked against you, I think that you're not gonna bring forth something that you really don't have super practice or anything like that. So I mean, keeping it simple, in my opinion at least, is gonna be the best course of action here for Ecuador.
Yeah, I mean that's what we all expect in this particular match. But also we mentioned it in the previous match about, I mean, having fun. It's important, and especially in this point where Ecuador, well, maybe didn't have like a straightaway, well, that chance, to try to fight for the one or two or second place with Guatemala and Colombia. But well, Roy, it seems we have the knife round now, this time for real.
Oof.
So they decide, they're going to decide which side they will end up. Guatemala, they just have like two players live, but just half HP. So, well, Holix needs to do something. But this could be fun. Yeah, knife rounds are always fun.
Oh, he's going full Obi-Wan here. He's like, Anakin, I have the high ground. He's just gonna be waiting around. I like this. They're having a little bit of fun. I appreciate it. Just playing it a little bit lighter in that regard. It was a 4-total concursion after all, but I mean, it's still a bit funny to see, and I definitely appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Like knife rounds, as I say, they are always fun to watch. But yeah, we just need to wait which side Guatemala is going to start, you know. But I again, at the end of the day, if I was like playing with them, I will say, guys, team for teamwork. So let's just start on T side, easy peasy. You know, because I feel like when you start like in an aggressive way, it always helps. Trust me. So this is it. They started on the CT side, so they are letting Ecuador just try to be the most aggressive way that they can play right now. We just have like a pretty default composition on the Ecuador side, and the attacking one where the top mid pressure will just come from Jaxi, just letting him with 14 HP, which could hurt definitely, especially if you are just trying to face the USB in a long range.
Oh yeah, no, not gonna be the easiest task ahead. I mean, plenty of damage being dealt already, especially as per Jax's life right now. Widow also gonna be chipped away, but it seems like Gore gotta be the first one to kiss the round goodbye. Unfortunately, there for the side of Ecuador, and look at Midis go. Also being decisive in that same regard. Freerist, okay, he's gonna end up losing his life, but not like Guatemala have to get too worried just yet.
Yeah, not yet. And I mean, at least he got one, so that's really important. And also that forced Ecuador to just try to rotate because they knew and had the information. Metis from under was able to take Hodix down, but now Malps is waiting for him without a problem. He's just going to close that. It's going to be the first round in favor of the Guatemala side.
And pretty much what we were expecting out of the Guatemalan squad, just being simple and clean, effective with it, if I can say it like that. And yeah, just everybody putting in the work, at least damage, at least holding position. I mean, communication also, of course, extremely important in situations like this. We're starting to see the flashes right off the rip. And well, looking to cut this offensive coming in from the apartment side. Malps gonna hold a particularly tough position to fight against, especially if you don't have cat control. The smoke was set up right there. A true connector, so nobody was gonna have the chance. And look at them, middies getting very busy right off the rip. Already gonna catch most of Ecuador's teams, and Freerist gonna deny them of the pleasure, but nonetheless, it was quite a round there. Simple and clean yet again from Guatemala, and this is what we were talking about. Not only Ecuador are gonna try to maybe keep it simple, but Guatemala as well, and so far, so good for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty good to keep the MP9s, you know, in this position. It will actually help them a lot. But Ecuador now has the chance to full bite without a problem, and especially, well, just try to make a difference in here. And we're seeing that Guatemala also are not, well, really playing like that over aggressive, as we mentioned it before, that in comparison with Costa Rica, you know, that they did. But that cost them some rounds. So right now, at least Guatemala tried to keep things simple, as you said. The control and the execution on the A side, it's now effective on both sides, but Bocadio was able to take anti down and melts with an 8 without a problem. This just end up being a 3v3. Still with the advantage of the rifles on the Ecuador side. A bomb has not been planted yet, but there is Mouse with the cross, just with the bomb on his side. Okay. Or end up falling over there.
Ooh.
Stage as well just took him. But Widow on the back wasn't expecting there to be there for Malps. But without a problem, Metis Stage just closed that. A third round in a row for Guatemala.
Third in a row indeed, and I love just how Guatemala are able to just pretty much hold down their ground, and they don't play into their strengths pretty much. Playing to what the CTs are supposed to do, and just holding down the fort when they need to, not trying to overextend. No hero plays around here, is just to be point and shoot. And yet again, back to that same type of simplified game plan that they've brought to the table so far. A different approach this time around for Ecuador. Mavs does have control here on the cat side. Stage, though, is going to be the first one to find a shot, and he is going to get to reprise a little bit of that success, adding to the tally yet again. Not like Ecuador, we're standing in too solid off a ground to begin with, and now that it's all left to Widow, well, I mean, I don't need it to even tell you how this one is gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, after, well, knowing their economy situation, for Ecuador, that was smart for Guatemala just to try to take more aggressive the mid control. I mean, especially with the stage and the AWP from window, that was just beautiful. The support from Anti as well, from connector. I mean, the crossfire here, it was just perfect for Guatemala in particular. So that's the kind of things that we are just going to see often, especially since Guatemala right now are on the CT side. We're seeing Furious that will try just to get a little bit more of extra information in Palace. Anti just being the con player, you'll have to play a little bit more on the waiting over there, but Mouse didn't make that fight back, but at least Anti was just there for the revenge. So far, well, 4v4, but still pretty quiet for Ecuador.
Still a little quiet, though. They're about to get busy on the apartment side. Jaxi trying to cover for the rear. Gonna get a little bit of backup momentarily. Mid is still holding down fort by B. He does have Anti right there to watch over him. Stage also gonna be positioned right there, and he is not gonna miss the shot. Two players try to cross, two players try to challenge, make that three. The third one gonna be successful, and so Widow gonna catch a little bit of a break for his team. An AK and an AWP versus the power of the M4, and the M4 is prevailing right now. Our MVP from yesterday showing what the CTs are capable with these guns in their hands. And Freerest, well, he's just gonna get to swoop in at the last second since, well, they were pretty much on a pincer move all along. So very effective here from Guatemala. And, well, this is where Ecuador really need to start trying to rethink the strats, or maybe look what they can clean up. Not winning pretty much any duels at this point. I mean, the numbers are looking pretty low on the frag department for them. And so, I mean, we even have Gore still at that big fat 0, and I think that Guatemala are gonna turn him into James Bond himself, you know what I'm saying? Like that 007 action. But, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. On the other end, well, I don't really need to point it out too much. Colombia looking as clean as ever. Sorry, Guatemala. Guatemala looking as clean as ever. Colombia did as well yesterday, but right now it's about Guatemala.
Yes, I mean, Guatemala know, how to play their own game. And again, it's just all about Miles being like a great support for his teammates, and also, being the IDL and just, doing kind of things like this. Like what just happened, and I end up, dying at the board, but Miles is just right there and ready, of course, to try to support and at least get some damage. Or with just 23 HP, a stage with the AWP, that was too dangerous, too aggressive for him, or at least to try to pull that angle in particular. But Furious, without fear at all, just getting that good kill over Pocadio. But Malps as well is no longer in this round. But mid is from Connector, something that Jax wasn't expecting at all. And this could be pretty dangerous since Score is just 22 HP and Metis and Furious are full HP.
Ecuador do have a little bit of util to their name, though. That could prove to make a difference right here. Metis and Furious playing the waiting game for the time being. Furious not going to get to call that one out, and there is where the smoke really comes into play. The perfect nade, though, being thrown there by Metis. Gonna land straight into gore, and well, this man is just one frag away from that prediction that we made a little bit earlier. Still a little bit of time to go here, but they are running out of it. Mid is in dire need to win this 1v1, and he will get it. So Guatemala gonna keep a perfect record. So far, so good for them, and nada, nada todavía, nothing yet for the side of Ecuador.
That's just such a hard position to try to hold in a 1v2. I mean, for Guido in particular, since I mean you're in sandwich and you're literally in a sandwich. You know, like your positioning, it could be kind of awkward, especially when you are just facing well two players. But well, I mean, Metis was just pretty well good with that headshot. And 6-0 so far. Of course, this is hurting for Ecuador, but they still have the money and just to buy rifles at this point, and especially after planting that bomb. But well, anything could definitely happen in this, especially since Guatemala are playing in the easiest side, let's say, just because they are well, they just need to wait for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yet again, Guatemala, they don't get too aggressive if they don't need to. They've just been simple and effective at playing the waiting game, pretty much, letting time do their deeds for them. And Ecuador, well, they're the challengers here, and so they have to show up to the plate. Unfortunately, though, it's really not been too hot of a situation for them in this regard. That those dreams of the triple tie, they are looking a bit down and low for the time being. Though Ecuador, they do get a chance to fight yet again with those AKs, and I mean, like I said, we've seen crazier stuff happen in maps such as this.
Yeah, I mean, we're so hopeful, you know, for the optimism that sometimes it gets to us. But yeah, I mean, it's just I'm trying to think like what you can do when you have such a strong team, you know, in the other well side. It's just hard. It's just hard to actually try to make something and I mean you saw them playing, you know, like you have mobs getting the first bloods as well, and also good support. And I mentioned yesterday meet these mobs play like really well together, you know, like they know each other, they're good friends, and well that's how they can make like this good synergy, you know, like work on their favor. But yeah, at this point it's so hard to try to face Guatemala, or at least to try to take them down.
Yeah, not going to be an easy task. We are just seeing a couple of the replays right here of what Guatemala have, the plays that they've made for the most part. Not like all the highlights aren't going to be focused solely on them. We did see a couple of very nice shots coming in from the Ecuador boys, but it is undeniable that for the most part, it has been Guatemala the ones that have, well, taken not only the lead, but taking Ecuador by storm. And I don't think that they want to let go of that chokehold that they've put them in.
Oof, well, I mean, again, it's a little bit harder to say, but I mean, I guess so far I can just wait for the when they switch side, you know, like once
Yeah,
they go to the city, maybe that something different could actually happen, you know?
I
So they
agree.
can play like in a completely different way. But seems so far that TSI are definitely not the best, you know, for them. Like they don't feel like that secure. I haven't seen like a really good execution, let's say. But I mean, in general, as I mentioned it before, Mirage is not like a map where you need to do something crazy, especially with your utility. But yeah, I mean, in I guess we just need to wait a little bit more for what they have to show us in the next half.
Yeah, we'll have to wait around for that one, and we'll also have to wait around, it seems like, for Ecuador to sort out a little bit of trouble that has been going on on their side. As you guys saw just now, Jaxi, unfortunately, not gonna be around in the lobby for the time being. So, I mean, unless Ecuador are feeling super confident and are willing to play on a 1v5, sorry, on a 4v5, which I don't think it's gonna be the case for them. We'll see. And maybe they can call on a sub. I don't know if they have one at the ready or not, or I mean, how the situation is gonna sort itself out. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for the time being, because, well, I mean, it's unfortunate that these situations do show themselves sometimes like this. I mean, it is the nature of online gaming sometimes. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
happens. And especially, I mean, my Latin American brethren, they know the struggle sometimes. But, I mean, I know the struggle myself. So my heart is with you guys. Definitely. Definitely. So I may be speaking English, pero yo estoy con ustedes, créanme. So, yeah, that's how things are going for the
We
time
know.
being right now. So we'll just gonna have to wait for a bit.
Yes, definitely. That we need to wait a little bit for this kind of well technical issues, and yeah, I mean it depends because also the weather will influence a lot. But right now here where I live, there is like a thunderstorm, so I'm a little bit worried
Oh.
for myself even. But yeah, I just hope they can fix their situation in particular faster than well me, and if there is something that I have to deal with. But yeah, so far also maybe it can help them to try to relax, to drink some water,
Yeah,
and just
recently.
to say, okay, we got this, guys, let's just get one round and then we can just keep working on it.
Yeah, they definitely, it's time much appreciated for them. A little bit of a break that is gonna come in the form of unfortunately some technical issues, but it is still time that they could use to get a little bit of a reset, rebound, and be ready to bring things back. I just have to say, Elena, what is it where with you and thunderstorms? It seems like always when we are doing commentary or something like that, I'm used to seeing you like be under like the weather, some weather problems or something like that. Like last time around, this is just a bit of inside information for you guys. We were doing commentary for a different tournament, and all of a sudden we get an image from Lena, picture that she sent to the group, and it's like a tree that was completely broken down because of a thunderstorm that was just going on outside of her house. So it is like, and
Yeah.
she's like, oops, guys, I'm not going to be able to continue today because there's a thunderstorm. And she sends the picture of like a tree just completely blowing out the wires
Yeah.
from the electricity. So it was a little bit too crazy. So I just have to say, what is it with you in thunderstorms?
I mean, I don't know. I remember that was like a few months ago, and it wasn't like I don't know, rain season or something. But right now, I mean, it's
Yeah,
been raining quite a lot. I'm quite
yeah,
surprised because I thought that I don't know, like rain usually comes in June or something, or July, August, like that
yeah.
kind of months. But I don't know, it's raining a lot lately. So, well, especially today, I don't know. I just hope I don't have the same issue and there is no more falling trees all around. But yeah, at least for now, we just need to wait a little bit longer for my own sake and also for the pin situation with one of the players from Ecuador.
Yeah, let's hope that Jaxi doesn't have to deal with any sort of fallen trees or anything like that. And we are just waiting, guys, just as a quick recap of how things have been going, though. Thunderstorms aside, we are in the qualifiers for the Northern Cone here in the Latin American region. And so this is going to be a very important match because Ecuador currently holding a 2-1 record, and Guatemala is showing that 3 to no losses record so far. If Ecuador somehow managed to take advantage of this time and bounce back, then we would have a triple tie situation. in the dubs. 3 dubs for Guatemala, 3 for Colombia, and 3 for Ecuador. But since we only have 2 spots that qualify, if Guatemala managed to clean up Ecuador, then, well, it's going to be a little different of a situation. So we'll then get Guatemala and Colombia that get to qualify. But I mean, I'll guess yet again that we'll have to see in a bit. That is how the recap is going so far. Guatemala leading by 6 rounds, if I am not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how things have been going.
But yeah, just like I was just thinking about the score, right? That these are already 6-0. With Guatemala leading that, but Roy, we are ready just to come back and straight away for the action that, well, we desperately need in a situation like this, because, well, we just want to see what's going to happen in the north cone of this competition.
Oh yeah, for sure. Will Guatemala continue to go on the same pain train that they are conducting right now? We do see Ecuador, though, trying to aggress from the apartment's side. They did leave one of their players to try and watch over from the flank, which is a play that they have pretty much used to showing us at this point. Ecuador not getting overly aggressive for the time being, taking their sweet time. I like this bit more of a patient approach on their end, because Guatemala has definitely being able to force them to keep them on their toes and just guessing about themselves. Ecuador now getting ready to make their push. Stage gonna be the first one to fall. Nice refrag right there coming in from Widow. And that is the first time that we do get to see Ecuador be effective like so. However, Guatemala, they don't let themselves get intimidated, and Freerest gonna turn this into an even situation in the numbers yet again.
Yeah, I mean, at least Guatemala, it's playing like in a safe position, especially with Midis playing from bench.
Man.
He's just hiding over there, but no for much longer. Sin Widow just took him down, but Antai is gonna trade back immediately. They're still at 2v2, but Widow with all the aggression on Cat. Some help. This end up being a 1v1, but Widow needs to just completely run straight away to the side. And Anti, well, I mean, both are literally ding, 24 HP, 33. So this will go for everyone. So it's going to be a fun one, especially right now since the bomb is planted and Widow knows where Anti was. First round onward for Ecuador, but Widow, well, let me tell you, he literally did a lot of the work in here.
Oh yeah, looking a little bit of shades of the last match. I'm forgetting the name for right now. Let me just check it really quick. Who was it right there that we got to see on Team Honduras? It was, if I'm not mistaken, was it Atlantics? Atlantics, yeah, definitely Atlantics. It was the one that was putting pretty much the team on his back and making sure that the situation, well, was at least manageable at certain regards there for his team for Honduras. Now the superstar, though, Malbs, gonna be the first one to open things up right now. Already numbers in the favor of Guatemala. The position that they are playing so far, fairly standard stuff. But as the smoke is going to be flying, mid control is going to be established here. Got you ready for the challenge. There was nobody around connector exposing themselves, at least since we do know that Anti playing close to that position. Gonna get the exchange right there. Anti gets aggressive. Malbs also gonna provide a little bit of help right there, so Widow is gonna be out. Ecuador, they tasted the sweetness of victory on that last round, but I fear that that is gonna be short-lived success for them because of what we have right now. Hodix and Gore just gonna try to approach A, and they are surrounded, and now they're out of life.
Well, What we can say about this? Again, I just feel like Guatemala has such a strong holding, you know, when it's just about waiting. I mean, the patience, and again, you can tell about the difference when you have this kind of players where they just feel a little bit more confident, but also being smart. Because I mean, you can feel confident, confident about your aim, you know, and say, yeah, I can shoot everyone, and that's okay. But in this situation, the patience makes the difference, and also how you can try to manage, you know, like mental control. Okay, Metis just with the back a shot over there. Bocadio, well, no longer in this round. He should be so sad. I mean, I will be. But yeah, I mean, again, the control that they have right now is just, well, so good.
Definitely good, and also, well, we already saw, right? Not the prettiest, not the prettiest loadout here for Ecuador. It seems like they were bad boys and they got cold for Christmas because their toys, well, they stayed with Santa. They're gonna have to pay for them in the way of their lives this time around, of course, looking out for their economy. But at this point, there is so much more that they have to be worried about as well. Guatemala looking as deadly as ever. Freerest probably gonna have to watch his life, but it is Beat is the first one that ends up falling for Guatemala, even if Hudex managed to get his hands on that M4. That is short-lived success yet again in stage. We've seen the flicks that this man can hit, and let me tell you, they are not about to start missing.
Oof, well, I mean, yeah, that was completely free for a stage, definitely. I mean, they were just picking one by one. It's a little bit sad, you know, when you are in that situation, especially when you try to face an AWP, you know, holding you in that way. I mean, that first kill was just insane over with, of course, but still, you know, pretty good, pretty fast as well. But yeah, it's just Guatemala on top with this score 8-1. Ecuador at least just managed to get got one round. Oh my god, a stage after what he did. Okay, he just, you know, he missed that first shot, so he could get like a crazy one, you know, in the second. So it's okay. You just show off.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to show off, and that is the way things go. Back into it though. Here, Widow gonna take his sweet time, trying to cause a little bit of a distraction. Let's see if Mid is gonna call that one out. It seems like he was ready on the other end. I like that angle from Gore. Not playing down there on the mid part all on its own. We do have Pocario yet again getting rid of Malv. So if there is a pick that they needed, then definitely that is gonna be the most important one. Mid is still having control of connector here from Cat. Let's see if he can do some damage, and indeed he will. Oh my lord, those shots absolutely nasty, even if Midis is the last player standing for Guatemala right here. Let's see what Pocario and Gore can do to close things out, because Midis has just turned this into a 1v1.
Oh, that was so scary, but now I feel like Gore has a little bit more of the advantage pick, but he just needs to plant that bomb. 20 seconds left. It needs now to make well, the dream keep happening, you know, like with that amazing score where it can secure you a lot of, well, less stress, you know. So right now both are pretty ding half HP, but the retake, it needs to be pretty effective from Firebox. Gore is just waiting patiently. Also, he can place a lot with just, yeah, the angle
Nice.
and a powerful AK. That's all that you need. Second round for Ecuador. I like it. You know, it's a good chance that Ecuador are just trading, you know, each other. So that's super important if you want to take an advantage in this situation. Like, you need to play a little bit more with your teammates, you know, like as I say earlier, a team for teamwork, it's more effective when you are maybe not better on the aim related, in comparison with Guatemala, because I mean they are really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the traits here are important and crucial for Ecuador if they want to keep just getting more rounds.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they were able to take advantage of their numbers by the very end. Also, great play for Gore, not getting too overzealous, not trying anything too crazy at the very end. Gonna give Ecuador their second round yet again. Same angle, but, well, not same angle, same position, different angle being held there by Gore. Mavs, though, those reactions, those young man reactions are showing themselves up. Look at stage, just trying to hold, and there's a reason. Oh my lord, that was gonna come to fruition, and yeah, you don't get to see that one every day, but huge props to stage for holding that angle like that. And Gore, the hero from last round, it's all that's left in a 1v4, and his odds, well, they're not looking too promising, especially with less than 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, and especially when you have mouths holding you from market, that's it's just so scary. Again, I mean, it is scary, yeah, but also you don't need to let this kind of situation get you to the nerves, right? Because I mean, you know that okay, I'm playing against mobs. I don't know, his teammates are also really good. So I don't know, just you need to give you a little bit of self-confidence, in that situation and say, yeah, I mean, it's whatever, we're having fun and we can just try to make the best of us, but again, it's just a little bit harder when you have just mobs doing just crazy things and trying just to put the advantage peak, the advantage kill at the beginning of the round, basically.
Yeah, quite the enabler as well. Mid is also being putting in huge amounts of work. Ecuador going to be reduced to a single AK this time around. That is the price that they have to pay. And Guatemala, at this point, I have no doubt in my mind that they will be able, to cross the double-digit mark. And yeah, that was getting a little bit out of hand. And look at this from Jaxi, trying to take everybody for a ride. All of a sudden, things got a little bit more challenging here for Guatemala, though not too out of hand because of the range battle that's still going to be in their favor. That was a bit of a heartbreaker right there if you're Ecuador, not able to finish that frag, but mid as well, and that is going to be more to the tally. Gonna tie Malves in those 14 frags, and even dying less, so definitely making a case for the fragging king right here. And maybe we'll get the MVP a little bit further down the line. It is just a waiting game for now for Jaxi. He did manage to get a little something for himself, but it was just not enough for Ecuador to really bring a collective push forward and make something out of this round. Guatemala, yet again, not overcomplicating things, and like I said, they make it into double digits seemingly with ease.
Well, I mean, it's just I just don't even know what to say exactly in this kind of situations where, I mean, that was a full, I don't know how to call it, like a smoke party or something, because there were smokes everywhere, like from both sides, like
looking like a rave.
I couldn't even tell what was happening. Yeah, basically. Oh, Furious here with the aggression on Palace. That was just perfect because he was able just to ding the two of the players, and Mitis and Ty could just close that. But Jax really quick and really fast. It took him down. Still just Widow by himself after that kill from Malps. And that's going to be a hard one, especially when you have flanks everywhere. Why Widow couldn't do anything. And yeah, I mean, another round on board for Guatemala, 11-2. This is crashing a little bit for Ecuador.
Yeah, for sure. It is when it's going by fast. Unfortunately, Widow has been caught in those sandwich positions quite often. Looking like a piece of cheese at this point. Caught in between the bread that is Guatemala's players, and that is not a situation that you would particularly enjoy given this context. Almost 10 rounds ahead, and we are not even done with our first half. I mean, Yeah, it was CT, but I don't think that is going to be the main factor, or at least the deciding factor in this match. We are just seeing a bit of an outclass here coming in from Guatemala. We were telling you guys about how they were the heavy favorites, and there's a reason why these guys have not lost a single match to the rest of the competition, why they were favored from the get-go because of their performance earlier on in previous iterations of this same qualifiers. And well, the action continues to ensue. This round number 14 is looking like yet another fast one.
Yeah, it's another fast one where Ecuador keeps trying just to get the mid control, but stage, well, I mean, everyone just doing an amazing and crazy job holding them back. Oof, I mean, last round on the first half, Guatemala looking pretty clean, but I mean, Ecuador could just maybe rescue a few more rounds if they win the pistol round, you know? So, I mean, there's higher chances, you know? They did like a pretty good job, but Guatemala, well, still pretty crisp um, in that situation. But again, I feel like Ecuador just need to try to trade each other like as fast as they can. They managed. That's why they just got like 2 rounds, and especially I feel like that was crucial for them. But right now, well, it's a little bit harder.
A little bit harder for sure, but look at Pucario go, though. Trying to fight at the last second right here. Anti not gonna let Ecuador get their hopes up too high in this position. Jaxi finally ready to make a move right here, but look at Anti patiently waiting for the time being. Trying to hold the approach is going to be coming in from the ramp side, and it seems like they bet on correctly. Free rest still at a moment's notice could be turned around to Palace side and providing some suppression fire right here. Gore with much important connector control, but he is going to be forced to reveal his position right there. So far, so good here for Ecuador, who managed to pincer after that play from Gore. And this, if I'm not mistaken, going to be one of the first times that they make it onto site in situations such as this, where it's not really a one-on-one. If not the first time they managed to get it, and I guess better late than never. We're talking about better, though. Mid is looking superior right there. Not for too long, though, as it's stage going to be the last one left alive, and this is how this half is going to go. Ecuador, at least, closing things out with a bit of a statement right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, even you can tell for the frags right now for each team, where Guatemala is definitely looking more solid with their frags, with their aggression. I mean, I feel like losing Mouse early in the round was definitely something that helped Ecuador to try to take connector, you know, and that helps a lot, especially when you are in that situation. But I mean, a third run, it's just amazing, you know. The better at I mean, the more rounds that you get, the better. So right now, let's see how it goes and how it finishes, particularly this pistol round where the execution on the A side is coming right now, but Widow completely blinded and trying to face blocks. They were like fast and furious, basically. Mobs with the triple. Okay, that was just a little bit too crazy even for me to watch. Will left by himself, you know, Jax in a situation where for Market, well, it's going to be a little bit harder, or Gore, it was my mistake. But Jaxi, okay, Mouse just did like an ace. I think he did, yeah.
Oh man,
crazy. The thing,
I mean,
but no surprise.
Well, like you said it best. I mean, they were fast and furious with it, pedal to the metal, however you guys want to call it, but it's that decisive type of play that is really going to end up working in their favor. So, Guatemala, let's not forget, this is a best of one, so only 3 rounds away from securing that qualification spot in their first position, in the top position. And them and Colombia would be moving forward, as we do have 2 qualifying spots. Ecuador, though, Let's see if they can make what's looking like an impossible task at this point, or at least a Herculean one. Because, well, Guatemala 10 rounds ahead is no small thing.
Yeah, definitely, especially after losing the best round in this second half, where Guatemala just trying to play a little bit more default, like just waiting for whoever just gets the first blood. Just try to work with that in general. But okay, Gore with such a good position, it gets just mid this down. Codex on the other hand got mouths, but still a pretty good situation for Guatemala since they have 3 players alive, especially with just the Galils. And on the Ecuador side, they just have Deagles, and well, Gore got an Macton to try to work with, but I mean, I don't know. They might just probably save it, even though they are just walking through, uh, the city spawn, while Freres is just trying to look for them on the back. I mean, yeah, I mean it's a nice way to try, I guess, but it's going to be definitely hard. Stage just closing with the second. That was just really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it was a bit of a. It was just a bit tougher. Gore trying to make it happen right there. I mean, they did get something for themselves at least, but not gonna deny. Not gonna deny Guatemala when they're looking this final 2 rounds more to go here and get it done in less than 20. Oh man, that would be a bit of a toughie, to say the least. And they are about to secure themselves at least an overtime spot. However, I don't know if Ecuador have it in them to really deny that. Look at Freres go, immediately turning around and gonna go for the last part of that challenge. Not gonna go his way, as Widow does end up winning that particular battle. Ever the duelist here, Freres obviously ended up sacrificing his life and stage yet again with the cleanup. And in one more round, Guatemala will secure themselves that first position. And this is looking like more of what Colombia dealt to Ecuador earlier in the tournament. With even one more round of efficiency coming in from the Guatemala side if they get it done in this one. But, I mean, finally, the toys are going to be on here for Ecuador. So, I mean, let's see what they can do with them.
Yes, I mean, this is the last chance, basically. At least Jax was able to take Furious down from Cat, but Bakaria with such a good position from backside took the double. Alps is still alive, though. There is a lot of pressure over here, but he misses against Hodix Alping, so now he just made this by himself, and with just a Galil, that's going to be really, really hard. Still, I mean, the confidence of being on a match point situation for Guatemala, this of course shouldn't be something that, worries them, you know? But this is a nice try and a really good way from Ecuador to keep themselves alive.
Ecuador holding on for dear life. That's all that they have left. Mid is quite lit up at this point. Half his life already gone. Let's see if he can hit the shot. He's been challenged by Gore from the other end. Gore does have plenty of back at the booth right here. I like the position being held there by Ecuador, not trying to get into any funky business. So Ecuador will stay alive for one more round at least. Let's see what Guatemala can do to close things out, because as you said, it's not like they have to get too worried all of a sudden, even if they end up dropping like a couple of rounds in a row, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is, a good chance at least to try to make the difference, but still with Guatemala and having full rifles, it'll definitely mean something. Especially at this point on the situation of being relaxed, let's say, right? But Ecuador needs to try to find, like it's like a line between being aggressive so you can get the advantage of the round, but also just to don't overstep, so you can try just to hold your position and wait for them and, well, try to wait for the best. But this situation, at least I like that Ecuador still alive, 1 minute left on that clock. But there is, well, a lot that they can still do.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty they could do. Let's see if they actually get to do it because of how Guatemala have been playing so far. But nonetheless, though, first pick is gonna maybe pay great dividends here for the side of Ecuador. I mean, a learning experience, at least for them. Widow gonna get pretty much rained on by lead by all fronts. And look at Vidas go. This is how Guatemala make their push. Gore gonna elect to retreat for just a couple of seconds. He does have Hodix with that AWP. The shot is gonna be missed. The stage already putting in the bullets, and this could end in a few seconds, though. Now Hodix alone in this 2v1 situation, and there is no more life left. Guatemala, they are gonna qualify, and in quite a fashion that they did so. It was getting interesting by the very end. However, they showed their dominance, and this squad looking so strong for the time being.
Yes, definitely. I mean, for Zero, they literally just end up like playing this qualifier, so that was just beautiful to see. But again, I just feel like since last year, they were literally the best team. So
Yeah.
this is really a good chance, definitely, for them to keep showing like who's the best, in the north. And that was basically it, Roy. I'm pretty glad that they won this once again.
Yeah, I mean, they were the favorites, and they continue to show that same level of consistency and only getting better and better as time went on. So now the record is gonna be 4-0 in the favor of Guatemala, which means that Colombia will also qualify with a 3-1 record, only losing one of their matches. Unfortunately, that means that Ecuador, just like Costa Rica and Honduras previously, they are gonna fall short in this race for qualification, but it doesn't mean that they didn't put up quite a bit of a fight, as they did manage to at least get 2 dubs for themselves. So going out on an even record, not the worst position, and like I said, plenty of a learning experience here for them. Plenty of tape for them to review, plenty of VODs to go and check out in the future for further participation for themselves. So yeah, nicely done here for both the squads of Guatemala and Colombia, like we said previously, that are now qualified for this next stage. And the qualifiers are done through for this region, but they are going to continue on the southern cone, and that is where things get very, very interesting as well. The matches may start to heat up as soon as tomorrow.
Yes, definitely. That's a really good chances for both teams, and also to keep showing of like what they are capable of. And yeah, Roy, we have more action the next few days, and especially with the south, which of course there is a lot of CS over there. I think, I mean, the level there is amazing. They are really, really good. They breathe a CSGO the whole time, so it's going to be an interesting one, definitely. I don't have my favorites yet, but I will let them just surprise me a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, surprises all around. Let's see what we get for tomorrow, though. I mean, I don't know if we have anything else on the part of production for you guys here for today. You already saw how the matches went, how Guatemala and Colombia were able to qualify. It seems like we're just waiting for the MVP And of course, since, like you said, the Southern American region is going to be a bit more contentious, well, we'll get those best of threes going on as I'm getting confirmation that Argentina versus Brazil is going to be coming a reality tomorrow. That is a classic in soccer or in football for us that speak Spanish. But it's also a classic in CS, so let's see how that one is going to go.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. That's going to be like a classic one. And especially, I mean, even more excited because it's going to be a best of 3, right? So
yes,
that's going to be a good one. I mean, maybe the pressure was here like yesterday and today with just being a best of 1 for all the teams. But I mean, tomorrow Argentina and Brazil will get just definitely the chance, to play their game, play on their comfy map, and well, just show us in general like a really good CS. So well, Roy, for now we are just waiting for the MVP to show you guys because I mean I think it's the first time that I'm not quite sure like which player is going to get the MVP because the stage was playing really well with the MVP. I mean, Mouse, of course, he was just crazy playing deathmatch or whatever, but the rest, I don't know. I feel like there is higher chances for some of them just to get the MVP.
Yeah, and we're just gonna catch a few replays in the meantime. I hope that you guys enjoyed, by the way. Let me just get confirmation for the time for tomorrow, since these qualifiers were played at pretty much the same time all the way throughout, and it seems like tomorrow is gonna be a little bit earlier than we did for today. Actually, quite a bit earlier, 4 hours earlier than today's date. So make sure to check on your alarms, set an alarm, check your calendar in case you're free for tomorrow, so that Argentina versus Brazil gonna take part 4 hours earlier from the time that we started for today. And like Lena said earlier, it is going to be a best of 3, so we're in it for the long haul. And it is definitely going to, well, it's sure to be a classic. Also, looking a little bit further down the line, Brazil and Chile are also going to be facing off versus one another on the 22nd. And so that is also another match in which I have my eyes peeled because I've seen some of the squads, some of the rosters that are on both ends, and they are definitely packing some heat.
Yeah, I mean, we just checked that information precisely, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be super interesting, especially not just for the region in particular, but for the format. Best of 3 are always bring you a little bit more of excitement and stress, maybe. But yeah, we're just going to be here ready to enjoy with you guys. So I hope to all, well, just be ready with us for that match to happen, because as you mentioned, it's going to be quite early. Let's say not like that early, like in the morning, but I don't know, maybe we are gamers and we usually wake up at that hour, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna blow anybody's cover here, or I'm not trying to bend on anybody, not trying to rat out on anybody, but I've seen some people wake up at noon. I've been one of those guys myself, so I'm gonna pledge guilty to that same type of situation a little bit earlier on. Now that I'm on a bit more of a working schedule, I cannot do that anymore. A little bit sad for that one, but nonetheless, for y'all gamers, I hope that you get to catch it. If you are playing well into the night, then we'll set an alarm clock a little bit earlier on. And talking about gamers, though, the gamer that gamed the most in this match right here, our MVP for the qualification spot here for Guatemala was Staged, just like you were mentioning, Lena, and very impressive performance coming in, not only from Stage, but really the rest of the squad from Guatemala.
Yes, as I say, I think like all of them were playing really well together. Like again, they are friends, like they play all the time together. So that's just really nice to see because maybe again you don't need to be like super crazy or top fragging like all of them, but they are good. Like they know how to play with each other, and that's just really nice to see because at the end of the day, that's why they won like every single match that they play.
Yeah, I mean, Guatemala looking strong all the way throughout. And we'll see if anybody is going to dominate the next region that we have for you guys. Like we said, we are through with this part of the qualifier. The northern cone, sorry, is done. And so Guatemala and Colombia are going to be through to the next stage. And we'll get to see who is going to make it from the southern part of this continent. Latin America definitely having some talent, and they are gonna get to continue to show up tomorrow, like we said a little bit earlier in the day. So make sure to stay tuned to all our socials here to make sure to catch that one on time. Anything else that you want to add, Lena, before we say goodbye for today?
Well, not really. Again, it's just like a pleasure, and it's not like it is the last day. So we are going to see each other again tomorrow. So, well, again, just thank you so much for being here, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more CS action. But that will be it, right, on my side. So, well, I would just wish you a good night to everyone.
All right. Be seeing ya.